All right, guys, welcome to part 5.5. Why 5.5? Why not part number 6 of our Laravel series? Well, let me tell you exactly why. If you look over here at my screen, this is what we're going to do in part 5.5 is we're going to create a basic layout for our blog, because really the next steps that we need to take, we need to actually start building a website. We've kind of had this weird, this very basic look with our website that just kind of signifies what the about page and the home page, but they didn't really have any substance to them. As you can see here, what we're going to create in this video is actually start creating the look of our website. And we have like our little headline here. We're going to have a button that goes to a popular post. We're going to have you kind of lists all the recent posts and stuff like that. We have a sidebar widget. We can go to the about page. We have a contact form, all that stuff. Okay, so we've actually started kind of creating the structure for our website, and this will allow us to start really learning stuff with Laravel. We can start learning, for example, how to make a working contact form. We're going to get that set up in Laravel. We're going to learn how we can actually start dynamically pulling posts from our database and pull, like, say, the most recent 4 or 5 onto the home page. We're going to learn how we can link dynamically to a sticky post or something like that, our popular posts. We're going to learn all these different things in Laravel, and so we need to create kind of a website so for demonstration purposes. And that's what we're doing in this video. Now, the disclaimer here, and the reason I wanted to kind of hit you at the beginning here, is this video is only going to build upon the HTML of this website. So we're going to build this exact same thing here. We're going to build this exact same post. So we're going to get from where we were in the last video to here in this video. And that's what this video is going to be. But there won't be any PHP. There's not going to be any Laravel or anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our welcome page and we're going to hard code HTML in here. And there's a very important reason for that, because this is how you start everything. When I'm making a Laravel blog or a Laravel project of any kind, or even a Rails project or anything, I always code it in HTML first, and then I start converting certain elements into Laravel elements and so forth. And that's what I want to show you here. And so it's important to build that whole HTML page first, and then we can start adding all the Laravel components to it. But we need that HTML structure to begin with. So what I want to tell you is that coming up, we're going to actually start building this, but it's all going to be HTML. And this is going to be a little bit longer of a video, because I'm going to go through the home page, the contact page, which you'll see here, where we actually have a little bit of a form. It's not a working form, but we build a form, and then our about page, and we're doing all this with Bootstrap. So if you want to follow along and you want to see me build all the HTML, then please go ahead and watch this video. It's going to be about a half hour long, so it's a longer video. If this doesn't interest you and you're strictly interested in learning about Laravel, and you don't have time to spend 30 minutes watching me code in HTML, something you might already know, then it's okay. That's why I made this 5.5 and not part 6. Go ahead, skip to part 6, and just know that you're going to miss me building the HTML web page, but you're going to be able to see all the Laravel stuff that happens after that, because there is not really any Laravel stuff happening in this video. Okay, so I just want to be upfront with you guys before you watch the whole video. There's no Laravel in this video. There's no PHP in this video. This is all HTML and CSS. I thought about cutting it out completely, but I decided to do this little half episode so that those of you that were interested in watching me kind of code this in HTML first, before we get into the Laravel section, can watch it. And if you're not interested, then you can just go ahead and skip to the next part. I've got a button right here. You can skip to part number 6 if you're not interested in watching this 30-minute video of me doing some front-end HTML and CSS code. And we can skip right on to the next part where we will be doing some Laravel. We're going to be taking HTML. We're going to learn about something called partials, so we can clean this up so we don't have, look at all this repetitive code in here. Look how similar this is. It's because it's super repetitive code, and that's a bad thing, and Laravel can save us from that. That's what part 6 is about. Part 7, we're going to start dynamically pulling some stuff in. It gets really good, guys. So if you're interested in HTML, just keep watching the video. If you want to skip and just learn the nuts and bolts of Laravel, go ahead, and I'll see you in part number 6. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so like I had mentioned, we're going to actually start building the homepage and some of these about pages to start actually kind of getting our blog put together. And so we're going to do this by working with Bootstrap. I know hopefully most of you guys are familiar with Bootstrap. The reason I want to use Bootstrap here is because it's going to take a lot of the tedious time for us to kind of do some custom CSS and everything, because all the elements, the CSS elements, are already designed in Bootstrap. So we're just going to be able to assign some basic classes. It's going to help us accelerate the process of building a blog without needing to, like I said, get down and gritty with all the CSS, because that's not really the point of this video tutorial. So we're going to go ahead, start building this. I'm currently using Bootstrap version 3. Well, it's 3.36, you can see right here. As you can see also that Bootstrap 4 is coming, so maybe if you're watching this down the road, this is early 2016 when I'm filming, you might be working with Bootstrap 4. Bootstrap 4 I think is a pretty big change. I was looking at it earlier. They actually use Flexbox, and I think they have a different grid system and stuff. So anyway, if you want to follow it exactly, you may need to go back to version 3, the latest version of version 3. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you have worked with Bootstrap. If not, there's a lot of tutorials out there. I'm probably going to do a tutorial series soon on Bootstrap. But what this basically is a CSS framework. It has a whole bunch of CSS already defined. We're just going to use some classes that they've already defined, and it's just going to help speed up our development process. So first things first, let's go ahead and let's go under the Getting Started tab on Get Bootstrap. So I'm at getbootstrap.com. That's where we can actually get Bootstrap. And just to keep things easy, what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to take advantage of the content delivery network for Bootstrap. So we're just going to pull the Bootstrap CSS in from the content delivery network, and that's just going to make everything super easy. So what I recommend doing is coming down here, and there's some basic template. So there's a basic template that you can get started with. Let's go ahead and just copy this. And this is just kind of your general boilerplate for a blank page that takes advantage of Bootstrap. Now I've got to open up my, let's open up our project. As you can see, I'm in my blog folder here. Go ahead and get into the blog folder if you need to. We're going to open it up in Sublime. And this is where we left off with episode 5. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually start by just dumping some of this CSS, dumping this HTML this basic template that we had right here. I am going to dump this into our view file. We're just going to start with our home page. So we go under Resources, Views. I had it tricked there. I went to the Apps folder. Again, I've been working with Rails, and views are stored under App in Rails. But anyway, this is Laravel. So Resources, Views, and then we're going to go to Pages and our Welcome page. Okay, so we're going to actually get rid of all of this, everything we've been working on so far. Go ahead and just delete it, and we're going to paste in the basic template from Get Bootstrap. So that's what we had right here. We're going to copy this exactly. Let's come back over to Sublime and just take a look at it so we're not lost on what's happening. Basically what we're going to need to do, we're just setting our character set. These are just standard things we do with every HTML application. The most important one to keep in mind, if you want anything to be responsive, well, for the most part, to be actually working really well, responsive, make sure you set device width to the initial scale to 1, this line here. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll get that zooming in and zooming out effect when you get to on a mobile device, and you don't want that because we're going to basically have a mobile version because of this being responsive. So you don't want them to be able to zoom in and out. So that's what this does here. For title, we're going to just go ahead and call it Laravel blog. And then you can see that we link to the CSS. Okay, well, this actually isn't going to our CSS because we don't have it in our folder here. So what we're going to do is we're going to link to an external CSS on the content delivery network. So we're going to change that here in a second. But let's finish this up. You can see that's the bottom of our head. Then we open the body. This is the body right here. We just have an H1 tag that says hello world. We're going to change that to say hello Laravel. And then you can see that we're actually pulling in jQuery from the Google APIs. So this is the Google APIs that are hosting jQuery. We're pulling it in. And then you can see that we're looking for the Bootstrap JavaScript, which it's assuming is in the JavaScript folder, but we're also going to pull that from the content delivery network. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. Go back to Bootstrap to get Bootstrap website. We're going to come back up to download up here. This is at the top of getting started. And under Bootstrap CDN, we're going to go ahead and take this style sheet, copy this style sheet, copy, go over to Sublime. We're going to replace this with a CDN. So this is the exact same Bootstrap CSS file. It's just being pulled from a content delivery network, okay? So a content delivery network, for those that don't know, is just basically a super fast server sitting out in the cloud, and it already has the file that we need. And so instead of us including it on our server, that file, we're just going to tell the website to go out to that content delivery server and then pull it from there. And those are usually faster than sometimes going through our own. Plus, it's a lot easier. So, but this is pulling the exact same thing, the Bootstrap CSS. Okay, so we got that, and then let's go do the same thing for the JavaScript here, because so we don't have to carry our own JavaScript in. So this is for if you're using a theme, a Bootstrap theme. We're not going to worry about that. And then here it says this bottom one is the JavaScript. So we're going to copy just the script file. If I can do that, just copy that, come back over, and we're going to paste that here. And this should give us Bootstrap website. So let's go ahead and save this. And just for kicks and giggles, let's go over to our homepage. So we need to launch the server in order to do that. So go ahead and launch, sorry, not Rails server. You're going to do PHP artisan serve. Yep, get that running. And then we're going to go to localhost 8000. Okay, and then you can see here we have Hello Laravel. So this actually looks a little bit less pretty than our last one, but that's just because it's unstyled, okay? But we are using, we are pulling in our Bootstrap. Let's go ahead and just do view page source real quick. And you can see that we're pulling from Bootstrap here, and then also our CDN. For those of you that don't know, you can also go to your inspect element, and you can come down to sources, and you can also see what's been included in here. And so you can see that we've actually downloaded jQuery, and from the Max CDN, we've also downloaded both the CSS files for Bootstrap and the JavaScript files. Okay, so for those that don't know, that's a really cool tip. Just to kind of see what's actually being downloaded, you go to your inspector if you're using Chrome, and then under sources here, you can actually see what's been downloaded, which is really, really cool. And then no domain is usually your own web server. So like, that's usually what's happening. Or sorry, localhost, this would be our own web server. No domain means that these are defaults that are set by the browser. So we don't have a reset in here, but anyway, we don't need to get into that. That's more HTML stuff. We're focused on Laravel. So just want to show that we're pulling in our Bootstrap. So now let's go ahead and style it. So come back to Sublime. Let's get fancy here. So what do we want to do? First of all, we're going to need a navigation at the top. So let's go ahead. Again, we're not going to win any design awards. We're basically going to just take advantage of Bootstrap. So let's go ahead, get CSS here, and it's under components. Let's go to components, click on navs. These are for our navigations. We're just going to do a simple navigation bar. Just keep scrolling. Here's nav bar. I guess you could just click nav bar. I don't know why I didn't do that. And let's just do a simple one. So here's a simple one. And I think actually I like the full length ones. Well, just for simplicity, to make it easy to copy and paste, let's just do the top one. So let's go ahead and just take this top nav bar. So just copy all this. Just so that we're copying the exact same thing. So copy. We're copying, just to clarify, we're going to copy the top, the default nav bar. So come up here to default nav bar and copy all of this code, and it's going to give us a nav bar like this. So let's go up here. We're going to paste that at the top of the body. So just make some space under the body. And I just like to do a little note here that says default Bootstrap nav bar. And that's just an HTML, comment, nothing fancy. And then I'm just going to justify these real fast. For those that don't know, with Sublime, if you do command and then the square brackets, the right square bracket will move them in, will indent everything inward, and then the outer square, the left square bracket will do everything inward. So command and then either the left square bracket or the right square bracket. And then that should give us a fluid nav bar here. So let's go ahead. Let's come back over to our blog. Let's go ahead and open it up again. And you can see we have a nav bar. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and just clean this up real quick. We don't need a search bar. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need a drop down. I'm going to keep the drop down over here, and this will be like for our account maybe. And then we can get rid of this one. We can get rid of this search box, and we can get rid of this drop down, and then we can change the brand. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. Come back over here, and we're going to change the brand here from navbar brand. We're going to change that to just be Laravel blog. And then, okay, so now we've got, this is the first link. Just look right here. So this link is this link right here. This link is this link right here. And then we've got our drop down. So I'm going to go ahead, just kill this whole drop down. We don't need that. And then we're going to go ahead and change these right now to be, we're going to make one called home, and that's current. And then we're going to make one that is for about. And then we're going to go ahead and copy this and paste one more that says contact. Okay, go ahead and save that. And then we're coming down. We got our left nav bar. What we're going to do is get rid of our search box. So get rid of this whole form. We don't need that. Okay, now on the left nav bar, we can get rid of the link. That's this link right here. We don't need that. And then for the drop down, what we're going to do is instead of saying drop down, we're going to say my account. And then we'll just keep these the way they are for right now, and we'll come back when we start working on that. That's going to be kind of advanced functionality we'll work on down the road. But just so you know what that will be, I'm going to go ahead and save and then refresh this page. Go ahead and refresh. And what this is going to be is basically you'll have your option to log out and then like edit your account. And so we might get into that down the road as a more kind of at the advanced end of the blog if you guys are still with me. Okay, great. So now we got a simple little page, but these don't go anywhere. They're not linking anywhere. And so that's what we need to work on next. So let's go ahead and just go back to our navigation, and we're going to change this to say about, and then we're going to have this go to contact, save. So now if we come back, they should link. Let's go ahead and close our inspect element. Okay, so you can see, you can look down here when we're when we hover. You guys see this? It tells you where you're going. So we're going to /about and /contact. So far they work, but that shouldn't be a surprise because we're just doing HTML. We actually haven't worked on PHP or Laravel yet. Now, if we click about, we're going to get our old page because we haven't copied the code we just built over to that place yet. Let's go ahead and do a couple little changes first, though. I'm not quite done. At the bottom here, let's do hello Laravel, and then, well, we're just going to keep it like that. Let's just keep it simple. Okay, great. So that's the page we want to have for everything. Let's go ahead and just actually start building out the main body first. So the first thing we need to do is have a container. Okay, so we're going to do create a div called container, and this is again just follows the Laravel or the Bootstrap mindset. And we're going to have kind of a heading at the top for our homepage that kind of says welcome to our blog. And there's something you can use called a lead. If you go to get Bootstrap, what's it called? I think it's under CSS. Let's take a look at that. Oh, it's called a Jumbotron, I think. Yes, here it is. Okay, so under badges, so Jumbotron, it's under components and then Jumbotron. And you can see here that you can create this kind of, we're just going to use this for our homepage to kind of signify our homepage. So let's copy that and come back over to our homepage. And inside of our container, we need to make we're actually going to make it the full width. And so in order to do that, we have to create a row. And then inside of the row, we're going to create a column MD12. It really doesn't matter actually. Yeah, just do column MD12. That's a full width column. I'm not going to get into the full grid system here. That's not the purpose of the video, is to get into Bootstrap. The purpose is to just build a website, and then we're going to start kind of converting this to Laravel. So inside of here, I'm going to paste the Jumbotron code. And so for those that don't know, you basically just create another div called with the class of Jumbotron. Inside of there, you can put your H1, and then you can put any text that you want. And if you want a button, you can put that in there as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, welcome to my blog. And then we're in for the text underneath. Let's give this a class of lead. Just makes it look kind of nice. And then we're going to say, thank you for visiting. Okay, and then we're going to create this button. It's going to say latest post. Well, let's make it popular post because the latest post will already be under here. Okay, so now we saved that, and now let's go ahead and just save. We saved this. Let's go ahead and just refresh. Take a look at where we're at. We're in our about page. Let's go back here. Okay, so this is what we've got right now. Welcome to our blog. Basically, just a nice little header. And then down below this, we just want to start listing our posts. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what I want to do here is we don't want to be doing this in the same row. So we can still use the same container. In fact, I like to kind of just end of container. I like to know what these divs, what they end, just to kind of keep things under control. Okay, perfect. So after this is the row that kind of contains that header element. And then what we want to do after that is we're going to create another row with a column. We're going to do like a 3/4 width for the blog post. And then we're going to do a sidebar as well. So in order to do that, to do 3/4 width, we have a 12 column grid. And so we're going to do 8 columns, and then we'll do 4 columns. Okay, so 8 and 4, that's 2/3, I guess. So we can do 10, we can do 9 and 3 would be 3/4. But do we want to do, we want to keep a gap in the middle. So what we're going to do, we're going to do column, let's do column MD8. This gives us an 8 column grid. And then for the sidebar, we're going to skip a grid element, and then we're going to do 3 columns. Okay, that gives us 12 columns total. Okay, so we'll do column MD8. So we've got a row, and then we've got column MD8 here, and then below the column MD8, that's where we're going to have column MD3. But we also need to add column MD offset 1, and that's going to basically leave a gap of 1 column and then do the 3 column, and that'll give us 12 columns. Okay, let's go ahead and just really fast. I want to just let's do lorem ipsum here, and then let's do some lorem. Well, tell you what, let's add some lorem ipsum here as well, and then I'm just going to add a quick style element so we can identify these, make sure they're working. So do color equals red. And then let's go ahead and just make the top one like orange or something. I'm just doing this to demonstrate real quick with you. I want you guys to see how the columns are working. Okay, so let's save that. And I'm going to refresh. Didn't do it. Oh, I need to do background color. Not background color. I don't think, what am I doing wrong here? This is simple HTML. I'm usually working with Sass, and I'm trying to think what I'm doing wrong here. Oh, it's the, gosh, that's embarrassing. You don't do equals, guys. We all know that. Gosh, it's a semicolon. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted to be. Okay, so you can see that we've got a column here. This is 8 columns wide, and then over here we've got 3 columns. So this is going to be our main content. This is going to be our sidebar. Okay, that's what I wanted to demonstrate to you. So let's go ahead and undo now what we just did. So let's get rid of this lorem ipsum, and then we can get rid of this background color. You also would not do inline styles. I was just doing that as a quick way to get started here. Okay, so, and then let's get rid of our lorem ipsum. But this will be our sidebar, and I'm just going to put sidebar in here for right now. In fact, let's go ahead and just make an H2 that just says sidebar. And we're going to leave these will just become like sidebar elements we'll set up soon. And then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to create a, let's go ahead and create a div that is called post. And this will be basically, a full post. So here you'll have, say, an H3 that has our post heading. So this is the title, or post title. Why wouldn't we do that? Title. And then below that, we would have a paragraph tag that would have kind of an intro. So again, let's just do some lorem ipsum. We'll do an ellipse at the, 3 dots at the end because it's going to be continued. And then let's go ahead and let's do an anchor tag. And this will eventually go to our first post, which we'll fill in later. And this is going to give it a class to make this a button. This is going to be to read the post. So we're going to say btn primary, and just leave it at that. And then we're going to say read more. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this. Let's go ahead and copy. Let's do 4 of these. So let's copy these 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And coming back here, we're going to refresh. And this is what we wanted. Let's go ahead and add in just a little rule, a horizontal rule between each of these, because it's kind of ugly. So just HR. And we'll add that between each of these. Okay. Perfect. So there we go. So we've got basically our posts. Welcome to our blog, our posts, and then we'll have like sidebar widgets here. So that's our homepage. Let's go ahead and just do our about page really fast, and then our contact page. So what we need to do this is we go Control A. We're going to copy all of this. Come back over to our about page. We're going to take all of this and paste in our old one to replace it. For the title, what are we going to do? We're obviously going to say about me, about us. I'm going to change that up a little bit here. Now we need to change the on the button, the active one is now about, right? It's not home. So we need to change class active and make that put the class active onto this one. This makes the button active. So it kind of makes it like darker for the about. And then this is just for screen readers. I'm actually just going to get rid of this for simplicity. If you're launching a website, you should have this SR only class because this makes it visible to screen readers what's happening. But because I don't want to overly confuse things for this video, we're just going to leave it out because I don't want people to get tripped on something like that. I want you to just focus on I don't want to say it's not important. It's all important, but I don't want people to get tripped up on that. So we're going to change class active to the about button, and then that's basically all we need to do for that. Now down here, what we're going to do is we'll do a full width. We're going to get rid of the sidebar and everything. We're going to do a full width about page. So we can just do an H1. Oh, first of all, we need to make a container, and then we need to do a row inside of that. And then inside of that, we need to have just a full width column. And then inside of the full width column, we just need to make an H1 tag. It says about me. I'm just keeping this simple, guys. Let's do some lorem ipsum here. Just some filler text as a paragraph. And that's about it. We might come back and do some images later, but we'll just keep it simple for now. Just do that. And that should be good for the about page. Let's go ahead and let's go to the about page. Perfect. That's good enough for right now for our learning purposes. Let's go ahead and do contact really fast. Once again, copy everything and go to contact, and we're going to paste everything in. We can follow almost the exact same structure. The only thing we need to do is just change this to contact me. And then we're going to change, okay, here we go. Just move this active class down to this item. So it's on contact, and then everything else can stay the same. We can keep this structure here because we'll just do a full width contact form. And we're going to change this to say contact me. And then we're going to just do a basic form under here. So let's do a quick horizontal rule. And then this just creates a line. And then under that, we're going to create a form. And in the form, we're going to create a create a div called form group. And then inside of the form group, we're going to make a label. And the label is going to belong to, so let's just do subject. We'll just keep it simple, subject and body. Well, we'll do subject, email, body. So let's do email. And then inside of here, we're going to do a input. Man, guys, I haven't like raw coded a contact form in a while. Input ID is going to be email, and name is email, and class is form control. This is a Bootstrap element that just kind of makes it look pretty. Oops. And let's see. That should be everything we need for that one. Let's go ahead and copy this form group. Okay, and we're just going to move that down here. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to keep it for subject. So what you can do, by the way, if you're Bootstrap, do Control D. You can highlight all of those. Change them all to subject since we want all these to match. Then we'll come back down here, make one last one. The difference will be that this is going to be, I'm trying to remember how you do this, text area. Okay, so text area, we're going to do all the same. Well, obviously we're going to change this to be body or message. We'll say message. We'll change these to all be message. And then text areas have like a closing tag. So we'll just put type your message here, dot, dot, and then you can close the text area, just in case you weren't sure about how to use text areas. That should be everything. Then at the bottom, we just need a submit button. So we'll just do input and type equals submit. Is that how you do those? I can't remember. It's been a while since I always do that. We're going to learn some other tricks very soon, and that's what I usually use. So actually, well, just do this. Type equals submit, and then we'll just say send message. Wait, you have to change this to be value. That's how you do this, yeah. Okay, pretty sure that's right. Oh, and then let's change the class to be btn success. That'll make a green button. And yeah, let's try that. So go ahead and refresh. Oh, we got to go to the contact page. Oh, and great. It turned out perfect, guys. So we've got the email subject, message, and then we can send the message. Now, obviously, it doesn't work, but we're going to get to that soon. So here we go, guys. We actually have look at this. We can actually go to, oh, we didn't program the home button. Let's go ahead and do that. And this is actually a good demonstration because guess what? We didn't program it. So how do we fix that? Well, we just have to go here to slash, add the slash there on the contact. Make sure you go to the next page, about, do the exact same thing, slash, and then on home, it technically doesn't matter, but we're gonna do it on home anyway, slash, perfect. Now we'll go ahead and refresh. Now our home button should work. So we can go home, we can read our posts, we have our about page, contact page, and we can move around all pretty easily. So there you go, guys. We're running a little Laravel blog with Bootstrap. We got it all styled up. Now, hopefully you're starting to catch on and you're thinking, isn't there a better way to be doing this? We're using Laravel after all, and I didn't see any Laravel in this tutorial. Well, lucky for you, there is a better way, and I'm actually going to post the exact same video, the follow-up video, the same day as this one, because I know you guys probably wanted to actually use Laravel, and you didn't get that in this video. And that's because what we're going to see now is how we can actually take normal HTML and make it Laravel. And there's some really cool tricks that we can do to make this really, really easy. And that's what we're going to learn in the next video, is how we can Laravelize our this HTML that we've created to make it a little more efficient. Okay, see you in the next one, guys.